you see, I got this and that, all of that, trying to come back, making comeback. Oh, 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 I'm chasing you, trying to get back to you, cause I need you, and I can't make it through, gotta drop it, ooh, what's a girl to do? And I can't see behind, the night has got me blind, I'm running out of time, I'm desperate, I need you. Love, peace, joy in the moment, you put it on me, I gotta give me shelter from the rain, don't let, never lonely, I gotta give my present, help my friend, my home, I gotta give it, you see, I gotta give back, all that I know is there is nothing right here for me, slipping and falling, I hear you calling, no more stalling, I gotta find my way back to you, and you already know it, I'm coming, I'm running, I'm coming, Lord make me over, I'm coming, love, peace, joy in the moment, you put it on me, I gotta give back shelter from the rain when it's lonely, never lonely, I gotta give my present, help in time, my friend, my home, I gotta give back, you see, I gotta give back, I gotta give back, all that I know is, Lord make me over, I gotta give back.
Stars in your head, our memories on the wall. Take it all, take it in. Yeah, this is how our story goes. So tell me how you wanna be. I just know what I see. I don't wanna see you fall. The time is catching up to me, baby. There's a world to see. Stranded here since we were born. But all I know is we've been here before. If this is true, then what the fuck do I know? Let me be free, but if you ever need me for you, I'll be right here. Last born again, a treasure from the start. Arms far away, things are never gonna be the same. Yeah, burning ash and gasoline, going like a melody. Come with me and feel it too. Boy, we'll make it happily. Follow me and you can see living it until we're blue. But all I know is we've been here before. If this is true, then what the fuck do I know? Let me be free, but if you ever need me for you, I'll be right here.
What is up, everybody? It is me, your friend, Redeemed. I don't know. That was such a cheesy introduction. I had something planned and I totally lost it, but that's me, ADHD brain. But I am so excited tonight. It is our very first installment of the new podcast, video podcast, whatever you want to call it, Redeeming the Time. We have a very special guest tonight. I'm so excited for this. I will introduce him soon. Just wanted to give you kind of a breakdown of what this is all about. I've had this idea for a long time to try to do a podcast or something of that nature. And what I really wanted to do was to make it something meaningful, not just talk about random things, but actually get to know people and just continue to build this community. Not my community, not the whole community as a whole. I've met so many great people on Twitch and other platforms, and I just really want to get to know and introduce you to the people behind the content, to make some real life connections, to be able to understand each other's stories, and I'm excited for tonight. Couple house cleaning notes. I have turned off alerts because I don't want to interrupt the conversation. You know, I want it to be organic and natural. If you have comments, you can post them up in the chat. We may not see them depending on how involved we are in the conversation, but um, we may. You know, if you have a question, we can answer or something. We could do that. Maybe at the end, even do like a short question and answer session. But it's more about just focusing on our guest tonight. And I'm super excited because our guest is the amazing, the incomparable Rebel Aviator. And I'm going to bring him on soon. And I'm going to let him tell him about yourself. But I just want to give him a shout out because he's an amazing guy. He loves his community. He does so much that people don't even see behind the scenes for his community. He is active duty Navy, so shout out for that, and soon to be a fellow veteran. So I'm excited for that for him too. But I'm going to let him tell you all that stuff. We're going to bring him in right now, and we'll get started. Can you hear me, Rebel?
Yes, sir.
All right, looking good. I think we got everything worked out. We jumped in the call a little earlier and tried to make everything look good. You look good. You sound good.
Hey,
How you
matters.
How you
That's
feeling?
all matters. We're both looking good. We're both sounding good.
The beards are on point. You know, now that you don't have those standards to meet, you got the beard game on lock.
Yeah, it's locked down, man. I actually had to go back to work today to
Did
class, and they had no. They looked at me and they're like, "Holy crap, you're two different people." Because if you look at my ID, it's like I was clean shaven, bald head,
right.
every bit of the military standard. They look at that, they're like, "What? Who are you?"
They didn't say you need to shave and report back.
Yeah, no, that was not that important. I'm also on leave, so that definitely doesn't mean anything for you.
You are looking good. How are you feeling?
I mean, aside from the normal stress, transferring out of the military, it's dealing with a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, I put a lot of faith in the higher power that everything will process for me in time. A lot of it's out of my control, and I just leave it up to the Lord to guide me in the ways, and I pray for patience and the wisdom to know what I can control and what I can't control.
Yeah, for sure. That's good. Good to hear because it's in a perspective is so important. There are so many things that we can't control, and we'll definitely get into that more. But I just want to introduce you to everybody. And I think the best place to start is at the beginning because every superhero has an origin story. So, can we get into your origin story? Just kind of where you grew up, a kind of early life, and we'll move on from there.
Yeah, for certain. I grew up in a small town in Indiana. So small that my graduating class of 2006 was 80 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite a small town. Big farming community. Like it's one of those towns where like the actual farming like the farming, pillars of the town were like the three big names. So you always knew them. You always knew that they had crop, and they always had work. But small town. Word travels fast. You can get in trouble at school, and your parents knew before you even got off the bus. So that's really how small my town was. So,
Wow.
but I started there. I was born 1987. So you're good at math. I'm old.
But younger than me.
Hey, either way, it's really all about it's all really a state of mind, really. Um, but I grew up in a small town, and, not really much. It's just, I got into gaming, at a young age. I think my first gaming console was a Nintendo Entertainment System,
Oh, the original
playing, like
NES.
yeah, the old NES, playing old Legend of Zelda and Mario and Duck Hunt and, all those games. Then we just kinda graduated from there to, like, the Super Nintendo, playing Mario World, Super Mario World, Metroid, Pilot Wings, I miss those games. And we just kinda we liked it. I enjoyed playing games as a kid. As I continued to get older, obviously, every story has its, like, conflict. My conflict was my parents' divorce when I was real young. So I used gaming as a sort of escapism to not deal with the problems at a younger age. So, it was definitely a good escape. But I also worked. You live on a farm, plenty of work to keep yourself busy, and you kinda keep moving from there. So the best part about that was, in my downtime when there wasn't work to be done, I could play games. Um, After that, going through school all the way to high school, I left to go to the trade schools, and I was a tradesman for a long time, worked, here and there jobs, FedEx, Tractor Supply, really jobs I knew. But I really enjoyed electronics and wiring and telecommunications. I enjoyed that part of trade school to where I worked as a job for the hospital network out there. I travel to
Okay.
hospital sites and do their telecom and data infrastructure. So I did that for a long time. Fast forward to about 20, I want to say 2013. Um, I'd been dating my then girlfriend for, about a year. Then we got real serious. We started living together around 2013. Or like cohabitating. She still was in her senior year of high school. I was already out in the working world. I wasn't doing much besides just working three jobs and just trying to make it on my own.
Wow.
Um, then I decided in 2013 I was gonna get in shape and join the military because my stepfather was a senior chief in the Navy, and when we would go visit my mother and him, he had that brotherhood, that camaraderie
Yeah.
of being in the service, and I was like, I want that. I said to myself like, I want that. That is something that I want to have um, experienced. So for 2 years, I trained myself. I lost, I think at my heaviest, I was like 350 pounds.
Really?
I look
Wow.
like Dom DeLuise. So,
Wow.
I lost about 100 pounds, got down to a good size, got into standards for the military, overtrained. So when we went to boot camp, I was way over prepared for it. So it was good.
Yeah.
Um, so once I joined the military, I put boots on ground in December 15, 2015. And from there, I never looked back. Had a 20-year plan. Um, Got out of boot camp, went on to my primary training school in Pensacola. From there, got transferred out to San Diego for schools. Did a 6 month stint out in San Diego, nice area. Then transferred to my ultimate command, which was a United States aircraft carrier out in Washington, and did spent 5 years on that ship.
Wow.
Um, to the point of we did one deployment, which was our world tour. So I got to travel the world, which was good. I got a 7 month deployment, got 5 ports.
Wow.
Someone said we got rigged. So,
Yeah.
because normally every month you would hit a port, but because we were in operations, we were actually able to um, stay out and do the job a little longer than some people. So once we did that, we got to see beautiful countries. I did amazing things in all theaters that we were in. Um, And some stuff I'm pretty sure I should not still be on this earth for now, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
I got someone watching my back, and that's all that mattered.
Right.
Uh, got, Singapore, Thailand, Dubai, Bahrain, Marseille, France, even got to port in
Wow.
Marseille, France.
Nice.
That was a nice one, and the thing that I got to do that I'm super proud of during my time is I got to do burials at sea. I did about 5 burials at sea,
Amazing.
part of the honor guard, honor ceremonial guard. Then in France, we actually were able to go clean off headstones of the unknown soldiers, from World War One, World War
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You talk about a sombering experience.
Yeah.
Uh, just the quietest place at a gravesite, and you just feel the power of what these people done.
I know.
Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say I know that feeling because I was actually stationed with the old guard. I was stationed with Alpha Company of the old guard, and so we did funerals at Arlington. And every Memorial Day, we would go and set flags out on every single headstone in Arlington at like 3 o'clock in the morning before the cemetery opened. And you talk about quiet and just somber and peaceful. It's
it's
unexplainable, honestly.
oh, it's a feeling like no other, and you don't and not to say that everyone won't experience it in some capacity.
Yeah, yeah,
It's different when you put on the uniform that so many people before you,
right.
did that. Wife's looking at me weird. Hey, just put that in the kitchen. Run the podcast. Oh, wife says hi, reading.
Hey, how are you, Empress?
But yeah, it was a the gravity of it
Yeah,
is
for sure.
definitely huge. Then when it comes down to like after we were done with that, we came home. We were back on American soil. Um, and it was operations like normal, get the ship ready for its half life, and it was maintenance like normal. Back to the normal routine. Then fast forward, I was about to transfer in 2020. Um, so I'd already been with my ship for from 16 to 20, so that's about 4 years. Actually, this is like I showed up in 16, so it was like 4.5, 5 years, almost going on 5 years. But because of COVID, I was extended till November, so it ended up being past my 5 years on the ship. So I completely fulfilled my sea duty obligations to the command. But I had a during the height of COVID, I already caught it once, stayed home, all that good stuff. But I was walking to my ship and I was coughing and I had coughed up blood
Oh,
to the point where they thought I had tuberculosis. I was like, well, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. So I'm internally freaking out.
yeah.
Um, I rush to the ship, tell Doc. They get me over to the ER, and there they go running through tests left and right. I was in the hospital for roughly, I want to say 8 to 16 hours,
Wow.
or 8 to 12 hours. Really, it felt like six. But I got a nap in there, so I was happy. I just got a nap. um, but they found out that I had a blockage in my right lung. Now, normally that's nothing to really think of. It's like, oh, it's probably something we can cut. No big deal. Everything goes back to normal. Turns out it was cancer. Or it was a form of cancer. It was carcinoid tumors. Normally, what happens with that is it's normally linked to asbestos exposure or carcinogen exposures, like high doses of carcinogens, which can be anything from like toxic fumes, gasoline, diesel, anything like that. High concentrations of it. So working for the Navy, there's obvious risk of the job, whether that be to your physical body or your mental or any sort of facility that you work in. I've been through two maintenance cycles through the ship, and it's in a constant state of, repair,
Yeah.
assembly, some sort of,
Up,
fabrication.
upgrades, everything. Yeah.
So they found out that I had that. I got transferred out to civilian network, had surgery. They got rid of all the cancer, but in light of that, they actually had to take out 2/3 of my right lung. So I had been cut open and had my lung removed. Uh, and they were like, "Oh no, you're perfectly fine to return back to active service." So like, there's no way. Under principle alone, I shouldn't be here. And also, like, I'm in my mid-30s. Like, I'm easily replaced with a much younger, able-bodied sailor individual that can take my job. I understand the machine. I'm not stupid.
Right.
So, there we go, and I just started the paperwork, and, here we are now. That was, 2020, so for the last, 21 to 23, we've been in the state of limited duty, and, here in 7 days, we are going to end our term or our chapter in the military and move on to another chapter in life. And,
Wow.
that is me in a nutshell, but it's not all somber and, um, sadness and trials and tribulations. We've done a lot of good things outside of that. Besides our streaming, we've fostered a great community, with the Hangar Bay, and we've done so many good things. We've helped you, Redeemed, with, getting you
Yeah.
back on your feet with a PC so you can come game with us.
Yeah, for sure.
And, we strive to be that way, and that's kind of the one thing that I am super proud of in our longevity of being a community, is to give back to our people who support us, not just in our endeavors, but want to see people do better and,
Yeah.
foster that mantle of community.
Yeah, I want to say first of all, I've said this to you face to face and plenty of times in private messages, but thank you. I would not be here today. Y'all would not be watching this if it wasn't for Rebel. My family went through a really tough time. My wife as well had cancer, and just because of financial difficulties, I had to sell my entire setup, which was pretty extensive. I sold everything, even my, gaming chair, like everything, and, I had no way to game, and, Rebel stepped up. He was about to get a new computer, and he, said, "Hey, what do you think about having mine?" And I was like, yeah." And I don't know a ton about computers, but when I got it and started looking at the specs, I was like, "Oh, this is a nice computer." Really nice computer, and, it wasn't just the computer, which was awesome, and I'll forever be thankful for, and one day I'm gonna pay that forward, but it was just the support and that constant time that I couldn't game. I was in Rebel's streams regularly, and he was always cheering me up and keeping me involved in everything, and, that's what he does, and I'll let you talk more about that, but I just wanted to say, I'm super proud of what you've built. It's an inspiration to me the way you treat your community because people see this things on screen, and you give away a lot of things physically, but you give a lot of yourself. But behind the scenes, you're always available. Your Discord's open. People are in your channels talking. You do all that, and I'll let you talk more about that kind of stuff. But I just want to say thank you, and that this is what people should strive for. Like, be about something and help others. So, if you want to elaborate kind of on like what you do and where you want to take that or where you see yourself going, because
Yeah.
you are on a break right now, but you're coming back strong soon.
Yeah, hopefully soon. With any sort of challenge that comes in life, I told myself I was going to take about a month off, and it
Right.
looks like it's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Um, just because it's going to be one of the things where, like, not everything's set in stone. My grandmother always told me, she said, never make plans set in stone. They are always written in pencil because they could change on a whim. It
Yeah.
just
For sure.
remain flexible. So, um, but going back to like community, when I started streaming, I started it as a hobby. I didn't think nothing. I didn't think I had, uh, you know, charisma or anything like that. I was just a goofy guy on the internet, just like playing games I liked, um, sitting there shooting the shit with the wife and playing games that we both enjoyed. I think
Right.
our very first stream that we did, on Twitch, was me and her playing Super Mega Baseball 3 with our own,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, handmade team, the Aviators. and I kept the name Rebel Aviator. I've had the name for going on 20 years now. So I stuck with it. And once we started figuring out that like, no, we can really do something with Twitch streaming and enjoy it because it was a hard time. Um, because I suffered a lot. And like my streams kind of picked up during during my downtime when I was not so much active duty. And I was trying to fill the void of trying to be something. Yeah, I had a big thing of imposter syndrome when you're in the service. I forgot who I was outside the uniform, and it's a real thing. A lot of people kind of jest about it, but it is a real thing.
No, it
Imposter
is
syndrome is,
for sure.
and when I strive to make the hangar bay, I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, okay, everyone who starts on Twitch usually has their own Discord. They want their own community, understandable. But what I think separated mine apart from other people's discords is that it's never about me. The most discords that you see, they post like when the owner of the cord is going live. I never post it when I go live. My
Mm,
Discord now shows many people who
yeah,
I support, who I help, who I think can go the distance. Um, they strive, and I show that because it's not about me. It's never been about me. It's always been about the community, and with that, I want to make sure that everyone is getting the spotlight, and even to the point where I ran myself ragged most recently running 2 Twitter pages, my own personal Twitter page and the Hangar Bay community
yeah.
page. And, like, I try. Man, my brain can't run that many that many sites at one time. But, community to me is a group of like-minded individuals whose only, sole purpose is to see the betterment of other people. It's not about it can be about individual growth, yes, but it is the overall arcing, umbrella is improvement upon each other, and I don't try to take that away, from saying like, "Oh, it's if you win, we win." It's not that. It's never been a you win, we win scenario. If you win, you did it on your own, and we were here to support that, and that's all that matters, you know? A good leader never leads from the front or never leads from the back. He always is in the front pulling or pushing other people to do better.
Right.
So I've never wanted, yeah, we'd all want to then make it big, doing, this for a living,
Yeah.
making funny videos and playing games with our friends. And that would be the dream. But to get to that dream, you know, it's a lot of hard times, sacrifice, it's work, and, if people in my community want that, I will support them 100%. That has been my, my mission to make sure that that happens, is, like, if they set forth and say, I wanna, pursue full-time on this endeavor, cool, you have the complete support of the Hangar Bay, we will be here for you.
Yeah. Um, just some of the things that you have done in the past on your stream. You run a channel point challenge every month to where you I see the 3D printers behind you. You'll give away a free, no cost to anybody, printed item of their choice within reason.
Mm.
And you did that every month for the longest time. You just had to suspend that because obviously you're moving, you're getting out of the military, but you did that every month, and you give away jerseys and you have regular giveaways, and those things are awesome. And like I said, you even before you gave me this computer, you were fundraising for me, and it ended up that I couldn't even use the money towards a computer because my wife was out of work for 4 months, so we actually had to pay bills with that. And you were like, "Whatever you got to do, you do what you got to do." Um, and people see that out in the community, but you have your Discord open and you even have channels for vets only. And I know you're a big proponent of mental health, and especially the fellow vets. Do you want to share some about what you do and kind of the motivation about behind that?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'd love to elaborate a little bit more on that. The biggest thing, and I found this more along my time in service, was that one, being in active service, there is a lot of suicide rates, a lot of preventative things that could, you know, help sailors, soldiers, Marines, airmen, anything like that to, battle the not necessarily the dark times or the demons that we all face every single day.
Yeah.
Just to be someone who is there in their time of need. Um, like I've always stated, like just because you think you're alone, like what have they always told us in the military? Is like no one fights alone.
Yeah.
No one is ever, an island. Everyone is. It takes a village, right? And and what we do here is we have channels for ranting and raving. We have VCs for, we call it smoke pit. And that's for military members, past, prior, or current active. They can come in and you know, just, shoot. Because it's different. Not everyone deals with the same, strifes as in the real world as you do in the military.
Yeah.
So, like, you can come in, tell your stories of when you were in, and you'll find a striking similarities between the branches. That no matter what branch you're in, the struggle is still the same. You
Yeah.
know, what I've done is I am a big proponent of mental health because I've sought my own mental help through therapy and all that. And what I've done is even though I've done it for myself, I take those times for myself as a learning tool and I apply it to everyone else who asks for help. Um, Most recently, we had a gentleman come in to stream on our mental health check-ins on Sunday, where we were talking about it, like how to handle stress, how to, figure out what is, acceptable stress, what is stress you can control, so on and so forth. And this person had talked about suicide, and we said, no, no, let's get you help. And so we did the research, and we found out that there was a way for him to get a free ride for services to a medical professional, and they went and sought medical professional help. And that was one success story, and I hope there's many more like it.
Yeah. I, I
Um,
I I remember when that went down, and it's like I'm tearing up just thinking about it because he, you know, you just recently put your stream on pause, but he was in the stream every single time you were live, and that's just a, a huge success story. Truly, a life changed just by being willing to listen and willing to help people. So it's
yeah.
beautiful.
No matter what you're going through, even the smallest, "Hey, how you doing?" can change drastically the
Yeah,
outcome of the day.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and it's one thing that I've prided myself on doing is the just being there for people, like, yes, you can struggle through a lot. It is well known that we struggle through a lot, especially in today's society,
Yeah,
alone. But being that one person because other people rely on you for making them smile or knowing that you're a safe place to come and vent about the struggles of the day
yeah,
are like 100 times that's the reason I hit that button. Is like, I know I'm having a bad day, but I know as soon as I get that live button going and I hang out with the rest of the people who are, regulars at this point, it means the world to me. And
yeah,
that is something, you know, totally, even if it's one person is one more person that stays on this side of the dirt to, you know, keep fighting. Because
yeah,
if you succumb to it, you let the demons win. I always state that as I said, like life is a marathon. It's not a race. Battling your demons is a 10 round, boxing match. Sometimes
Sometimes.
sometimes you win a few matches, sometimes you lose a few. But guess what? You get to rematch every single day.
Yeah, the bell's gonna ring again. You get to come back out swinging. Yeah, for
That
sure. Yeah, yeah. I just wanted you to highlight that because that story in particular, and that's the ones we even know about. There's others that you don't even know how you affected their life. Maybe you were just that voice that they could vent to. Because I noticed that in your channel a lot. It's not something you shy away from. People will come in and they'll just kind of dump their bad day, and it's such a release for people. And you just catch it in stride, and you're like, "Yeah, I hear you," and this is a place for you where you can do that. And you providing that space, I think, is just a huge thing for a lot of people, and I think uh, that's that's been part of your community being so strong is because you do offer that space for people not only on stream but off stream to come and just say, "Hey, I'm not all right," and you say it's okay not to be okay, but we don't we don't want to stay there, and we're
Yeah,
gonna keep
exactly.
moving forward. And it's something I've always admired about what you do. So again, thank you for because I know it's not easy. I do this too, and you do it at a much higher level than I do. You stream more times a week, and you're doing a lot more behind the scenes. So I know the toll it takes and what it takes mentally to keep going. So I appreciate all that you do for sure.
Yeah. I think when I knew that I was gonna be transferring out of the military, like, and that's the one thing that I was kind of blessed with is I had this time. I had a
Yeah,
lot of time on my hands, and I was like, I want to use the time that I have left to, do something productive. Whether that was 3D printing someone something or, streaming to make someone's day better. It was a positive output of energy to something.
yeah,
And like, yeah, you could look at it like views and, analytics and and just get into the quagmire of that. But at the end of it all, it was positive energy being put out into the universe and expecting nothing in return. And that is the true meaning of giving,
yeah,
is
sure.
expect nothing in return.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but the other thing was is like, yeah, no matter how many times you stream, as long as you were out there putting out positive energy and just doing what you think is right, then it's a win. Regardless of views, regardless of analytics, it is a win regardless because you went out there and you did something that not a lot of people want to do is put out positive energy because it's easy to throw negative energy out there.
yeah,
It's so easy and it's so abundant nowadays. It's just nothing but bad on the news. It's it's bad news this, bad news that, and it's just like just be happy. You're alive. There's people who got it way worse than you just having a bad day at work, my friend.
yeah,
But it's all about putting out that positive energy, and whether it's like so minute that you think it's so minute, it means so much to someone else that you went live, and they look forward to it. And like
yeah.
I look forward to everyone going live. Like if I could give views to everyone, I would, but then I'd have like 10 freaking monitors up here.
Yeah, that's the hard part, supporting
Yeah,
everybody.
it
But
is.
no,
It is.
what you're saying about like, just putting that positive energy out, like I always attest it to like you ever go to the convenience store and you hold the door for the person that's coming in
Mhm.
and they go in and then someone else comes out and it's like three or four people end up holding the door right in a row. It's just you did something nice and it just ripples. And that's just a small example, but it's a cool way to kind of visualize just that ripple effect. You don't even know how far it can go because if you brighten someone's day and they in turn brighten someone's day, I mean it could change everything, honestly.
Yeah.
And so I I think it's awesome that I mean there are some people that are gonna hit go live and it's just about video games, and that's fine. I mean that's what this space can be, anything you want it to be, but I think it's so much cooler when you can play the video games you like and hang out with your friends, but also do something that's given just goodness to the world, you know? I mean, just making it a good place to be. So,
Exactly. And that is the true meaning of giving, is just throw that positive energy out and hope that the ripple effect, uh, is not really worth, but is, a gradual effect.
yeah.
Um, so and that's, like, what we strive for in this community is just, like, even if you think it's so minor, just the little bit of positive energy thrown out there is worth its weight in gold. Um, just just do the best you can.
Yeah.
No one's asking you to be Superman. No one's asking you to, you know, be Atlas and shoulder the burdens of the world for everyone. It's just do the best you can. Sometimes getting out of bed and making your bed is the best you can do,
Yeah.
and that's the hard truth. For me, especially like the transition from military to civilian has been really hard. I won't lie. It's there's not a lot of not a lot of love out there for veterans as
No.
much anymore. It used to be really well received. Now it's kind of died. Like yes, like there's a lot of things that we get, but we also sacrifice a lot to get those things. We sacrifice time with family. We sacrifice bodies, body parts, internal organs, mental stability, everything. And the only thing we want is, a little slice of, you know, life that we can call our own that's not governed by anyone else besides our own.
Yeah.
That's all. A lot of us just want to live in peace, man.
That's it. And I got out right before I turned 20. So or no, right after I turned no, I was 20. Never mind, I'm messing myself all up. Yeah, I was 20 when I got out. So I was a young man when I got out. I only did 2 years, and, even then, for me, being young and having the world in front of me, it was a tough thing to get used to, because you're used to just a structure, and not only the structure, but that brotherhood that you just can't explain. When you literally put your life in someone's hand every day, it's just a bond that's so hard to explain, and, you doing this at a later age, having spent more time in the military, I know it's gonna take some getting used to, and so, um, just encourage you, man, hang in there. I know you will. I know you're just one foot in front of the other kinda guy, but, yeah, it will take some time for sure to and I don't know that you ever fully get used to it. Like, if I could join the military again today and my body wasn't broken, as dumb as it sounds and as much as you hate it sometime, it's like, yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it again.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people that, like, when they got out, they wish they could do more, um, and it's not because they don't, appreciate what they did, it's just that when you're driven in the military, and the military is a driving organization,
Yeah,
it's there for personal and professional growth, and you're driven to prove yourself. And that's what makes you strive for those achievements. Like for us in the Navy, it was warfare devices, not necessarily like flexing your knowledge on, platforms and certain things, but spending that extra time learning them and showing, professional growth on these subjects and being all around like well rounded is really what it comes down to.
yeah,
How to network with people, how to talk to people. I think the one thing that I had a strong suit going into the military was I wasn't afraid to talk to anyone.
yeah,
I didn't care who you were. I would still talk to you like a basic human being. Now, the one thing I did get beat up on a lot is I called everyone sir and ma'am. So, learned real quick in the Navy that a sir or a ma'am was, dedicated to officers, not
right.
necessarily uh, the enlisted side. But you know what? A lot of them knew that's how you were raised, so they didn't really like hold it against you. But it
You would get the do I work for a living?
up every time. every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Uh, but honestly, if I could have joined when I was 18, knowing what I know now, then I would have done it, and I would have been retired at this age, roughly.
Yeah.
38 would have been my 20 years, so I'm just, about 3 years shy of it. So it'd been pretty close.
Yeah. I would have been able to retire 10 years ago if I had stuck it
Yeah,
out because I
right?
joined at 17. My parents actually had to sign for me. Um, I didn't turn 18 until several months later. So whatever I was like right on the cusp for what you could be to sign up.
Yeah.
But yeah, my parents had to, that would have been nice to have been retired at 38. I had a buddy of mine did 26 years. He's been out for about 3 years now, and
Mm.
yeah, he made a made a career of it. Although it wasn't without its challenges for sure.
Right. Anything like professional is strife with challenges. I actually had a 20-year plan. I was, on track to actually put on officer. I was actually going to be an ensign, um, or as we call them, butter bar officers, which in the army is like I think that's a lieutenant, like
Yeah,
uh,
the second
salute,
lieutenant.
yeah, second lieutenant. So, I was on track to do that, and life is a weird way of closing one door and opening another. So I did not take the condition that I had as like a slap in the face. I just looked at it as like this is a higher calling and saying, look, you did good. Now I need you to do something else. You
Yeah,
know, it's a challenge in itself, but at the end, I think what we do, what I do, what my community does means more in the long run than any sort of like accolade I would have gotten in the military. And that's not to say that any accolade in the military isn't worth its weight in, gold or silver, but it to me is much more impactful that we do what we do in our community.
yeah, for sure. Um, I don't want to keep you too long. I don't know how long you planned on, but
Oh,
we're
I got nothing but time.
okay. Okay. So we've talked a lot about what you do in your community. Do you want to just kind of run over like, and I know, like I said, you're not streaming right now. You did plan on taking a month. You're saying you'll probably go a little longer because you've got the move and all that's involved with moving halfway across the country and restarting your life going on. So we'll be patient. We'll be sad, but we'll be patient for when you come back. And
Yeah.
uh, can you kind of describe what you currently do, what your streams have looked like in the past, and if you've had where you think you're going to take that in the future? If you're going to switch anything up, or if you know if you have a plan to kind of move
Yeah.
things in a different direction.
Yeah, there's a bunch, and I usually talk about it um, with our monthly roundtables where
Yeah,
like I take input from the community at large and say like, what do you guys like about the stream? What don't you like about the stream? And I take all that as constructive criticism. You know, just like anything, I treat it as an open table. That's why I have an open door policy. That's why if you see me in one of the voice channels, I'm literally just there in case anyone else needs me. Um, I'm not necessarily working on anything. 90% of the time, I'm working on, something, whether that's, jobs or designing something. But for the streams, it's been pretty stapled that our Sunday streams are always our mental health
yeah.
check-ins. I don't think they're going away anytime soon.
Hope not. Love those.
Yeah, those are always a nice thing. That sometimes they're, not as active, but I also understand like time frames and I understand that like the weather's getting better, so a lot of people are going to be outside.
Yeah.
Um, extracurricular activities, kids got football games, soccer games, whatever you have it. So I understand, but I still keep it there regardless. And that's just for anyone to come in and offload their burdens, where they can come in and sit and chat and play stupid sound alerts and stuff like that. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
Um,
Fight
I
the
do.
random soundboard.
Oh yeah, that random soundboard, man. Everyone loves that one. I do think that I think I've found more fun doing tabletop RPGs, so I'm trying to lean more into doing those, but not necessarily in the same format as like just solely Dungeons and Dragons. I'd like to do some different games.
Okay.
So there'll probably be some more of those popping up. Um, I do enjoy our Monday Night Mayhem where we play, multiplayer games where
Yeah.
ranging Halo to Fortnite or Gang Beasts, just any sort of multiplayer game where we can just
Yeah.
have.
They're so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they get nutty. Then I think on Tuesdays, normally that's my day for D&D prep because I put a lot of production into our D&D campaign on Wednesdays, so that'll still be a staple. But Thursdays, I think what I'm going to end up doing is just taking Thursdays off and then bringing back um like a Friday, Saturday, like maybe a Saturday stream or a Friday stream, and then taking off Saturday. So what I'd like to do is I do like to do a different tabletop on Fridays
Oh.
and just like a Friday evening one,
Yeah.
running for however long and just enjoying that with friends, community members that who've always wanted to play tabletop games but never understood what they needed to do or anything like that. So there'll be a slight change, but all that is also subjective to like how my new job goes,
Yeah.
what frames. So
Yeah.
it's in progress, but that's where I kind of see the channel growing. I'm enjoying more of the Dungeons and Dragons and tabletops versus just gaming, like quote unquote gaming.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm still out of my organization, Pulse organization. I'm still one of the more active Halo players. Where like I play Halo. I have just hit my 500 hours in Halo Infinite.
Ooh.
Uh,
Sheesh.
yeah, I have been uh enjoying all of Halo Infinite because it's such a fun game. I've played Halo since its first launch on the original
Yeah.
Xbox.
Me too. Yeah.
Um, it's a it's definitely one of my fun games, and I enjoy it, and it brings people together because the people who have played before, they enjoyed Halo, uh, Combat Evolved 2 and 3 and Reach, and they enjoyed the multiplayer part of the game. Now, I don't play it competitive. By no means, I don't play it competitively. I cannot do competitive games by no means. So, I just enjoy it for for the camaraderie and the
Yeah.
funness, and like who also doesn't like the ragdoll physics of getting
Oh
blown up.
yeah. That's
Uh,
some of the best parts.
um, but the one thing that I enjoy a lot is just the community playing games together. That's why like you'll probably see that I on my channel, on the Rebel Aviator channel, the D&D stuff and tabletop stuff will not be placed on my stream. I have created another um, Twitch channel for the Hangar Bay, and I posted a thing in the announcement saying that
I
anyone who
Yeah,
is
I
in the
did see that.
community
Mhm.
can use that channel for their events, like whether that's a charity event, whether that's like I just want to bring attention to this, so on and so forth. As long as it's like I got a document, so you could print it out, send it to me, and I'll review it, and if I like it, stamp, hey, green thumb, here's your stream key, go have fun.
Yeah.
And that's just another way that I believe the the community grows together. Like it's one thing to do that, right? But it's also another avenue to show the other faces of the community. It's not just my face on on the front. It may say owner of the community, but it's not just my community. I'm nothing without the foundation of the support of the community. So from there, like it's their channel. If they want to do a charity stream on the channel, go for it. You don't need to, have an affiliate thing to do to do something like that at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
You can it's like, "Hey, I wanna do this." Well, here you go. Here's your keys, and, take the van. Go get the van.
Yeah.
Just bring it back in in the
In one
condition you
piece, right?
yeah, man, just don't drive it like you stole it. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's super cool, and I had never heard of anybody doing that before, and I remember seeing that going out across the Discord. I think that's a really cool thing because you have a really good community, and allowing other people to kind of use the platform that you've built to get their content out there, and especially like you're saying for charity events or something. I think that's huge. It just allows more people to see it, and it's really a selfless act to do something like that. Um, I think that's really cool.
Yep. Like I said, it's something that I believe is the right step in going forward in a community manager aspect. Like I said, I gain nothing from it. I've been perfectly transparent in every aspect of like what I do for the community. Like I've told them, I was like, hey, um, if we do good on Twitch, we'll do another giveaway. If we
Mhm.
don't do good, okay, well, because every bit of that money that comes in from Twitch goes right back into the community.
Yeah.
That's how I do the giveaways. That's how I do the jerseys, the hoodies, stuff like that to give back. I barely see a dime of it. Now I'd have to digress that because this month I had to like the last winners, I will have to get them their stuff when I actually like lock down a hard job so that way I can once I get back to streaming and we do good again, then that stuff goes right back to everyone. But it is like I have the winners. I was not able to use the funds from this last turn to get their stuff because honestly, if I can't take care of myself, how am I going to take care of the
Oh
community?
yeah, yeah.
So and I know that they're fine with that because obviously it takes like a month for those things to get made and sent out. So um, it's just one thing I've been transparent about is and I think that's a lot of people that's a lot of things you don't see in a community is the lack of transparency from like an um administrative side is just transparency like what are we planning on doing, what is the direction of the community going. Well, that's what I do. I don't make these moves behind closed doors. Everyone is aware of the movement.
Yeah, yeah. No, I sorry, got caught up in chat. My wife was telling me how good a job I was doing, and then one of the community members was saying she doesn't even have a VIP, which is true. I need to give her a VIP. But yeah, yeah, the way that you've handled that, I think is really cool. It's something that I have strived to do too. Not that I've had a ton of Twitch payouts, but every time I've put it right back in the stream, whether that's getting games to play on stream, or like we're getting ready to come up with my 2 years of streaming on Twitch. Although it hasn't been consecutive, there's been breaks in there. I'm gonna do a lot of community giveaways that night, and that's all coming from my latest Twitch payout. I just think it's cool to give that money right back, and just to help build the community.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's one thing because like we as like streamers or figureheads, like we're nothing without a community.
yeah,
And 100%, like none of the streaming stuff, like yes, it can go to upgrading equipment. It can go to certain things that make it easier to do so. Like if I was to be 100% honest within all the, gear that I have that I've done for my stream, I've probably got a good, I don't know, couple grand wrapped up in equipment alone.
yeah,
But, that's a lot of that wasn't even funded by Twitch. A lot of that was funded out of my own pocket. And it's worth it in the long run. It's a long-term investment to do so.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I keep it at that point is just making sure that we can, give back to the community that has given us so much opportunity to grow and to share in the spoils of doing good and doing well on a platform. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like they've done a lot for me, so now let me do a lot for them, kind of deal.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where when people have, because we couldn't do this on our own if nobody watched, it wouldn't, what would, I mean, you could certainly play video games, but to nobody, but if nobody watched, it wouldn't really be a community. So they're the ones that have elevated us on this platform. It's so good to be able to reach back and say, hey, come along for the ride. And I think you do that well, and I think you're the perfect guest for this very first stream. We named it "Redeeming the Time," not because it's a cool play on my name. Well, we did, but because redeeming the time is making the most of the time that we're given, and I think being given, not given, but having an audience and people that tune into us regularly for whatever reason, we can make the most of that time that we have by uh, just loving on them and giving them a place to come and laugh and to share their troubles and to learn to grow and even teach us how to grow, because there's plenty of people that I would be lost without you being one of them. I'm a technical idiot and you always help me figure it out. And I think it's appropriate that you would be the first guest on Redeeming the Time, because I think you use your time well and you use it for a purpose. And yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna hate me at the end of this because I know you don't like people giving you all the props all the time, but because you
Hey,
you don't do it for that.
exactly, and I've gotten better about accepting, praise and accolades. Although again, it's not my driving point. I think that's
Yeah,
the
for
one
sure.
thing. Like you can accept praise and accolades as long as it's not the driving point of why you're doing it. Like, you know, um, that's kind of the point. Just sometimes it's best to not have a dog and pony show, but also like celebrating victories in silence doesn't really show victory. It
Yeah,
doesn't show the hard work that does go into, you know, everything you've accomplished. So, a little dog and pony show is okay. Just it doesn't have to be a parade down Main Street. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, for
But
sure.
that's the thing. Like when it comes down to it, like if no one watched me being a complete idiot in front of a monitor and a computer and just, being bad at video games, then like, hey, if nothing else, I made cool content that I can edit down and put into a funny video sometime later.
Yeah,
But it's funnier when, people come in and, troll you and just have fun and it kind of puts it on a personal level. Like this person I can relate to because XYZ reason.
yeah. Yeah, and that was one of the kind of driving factors behind doing this, was just it's cool to play video games and it's cool to have people watch it, but I think it's so much cooler just to get to know the people. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to have an IRL meetup with you, and I'm calling it now. That won't be the last one. If I got to come all the way out to Kansas City, I'm going to. I've never been out west, so I think it will come out and visit you sometime. But I'm blessed to live close to two streamers, uh, Hoppa and Call Me PT, and so I get to see them on a pretty semi-regular basis. But to the people that I may never meet up, I feel like it's so awesome that even if this is the only place we ever connect, it's real, it's tangible. I mean, we don't just interact on stream; we're talking to each other, in the DMs or whatever, just gassing each other. I mean, I get people, and this isn't tooting my own horn, but I get people that will send me DMs and say, "I love what you did there," and it's just such a, not that you do it for that, but it's like okay, cool. I am making a difference. I'm having an impact on somebody's life, and quite honestly, they have no idea the impact they're making on my life as well. Just by being good humans and just restoring kind of your faith in humanity. Because like you said,
Exactly.
there's a lot of negativity in this world, but I've met some of the most positive people uh, through streaming. So
Yeah, and it's weird because I was having a conversation with one of my own community members, and she's one of my main mods right now, Mara, and
we love
it's
Mara. You
oh
can't
yeah,
you can't help but love Mara.
you can't, you could try, but you will fail.
She'll make you love her
Yes, you will.
now.
And the fun thing was is that we were talking about it, and it may only seem like, yeah, she's been following me for a little under 2 years now, but it's one of them things where, like, um, it feels like we've been, playing games a lot longer, and it's kinda weird to think that, like, a year or so ago, we were complete strangers on the internet,
Yeah,
just talking in someone else's stream, and when you get to take time to know people, it's weird how many similarities you guys share.
yeah,
Um like, I've given back to individuals in my own community because, I hear that they're going through tough times, and I was like, "Hey, here's," "Hey, what's your, PayPal or what's your thing? I know you're struggling. Here's, like, 20 bucks. Go get you something to eat.
mhm,
Go take the kids to grab a Happy Meal or something," you know? That's an extra 20 bucks that you didn't have to spend, but it helped.
yeah,
So, and again, that's the point of giving, right? I expect nothing in return. I'm not saying like, "Hey, pay me back later." Just take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, you know, how are you going to be there to take care of everyone else that you want to take care of? You know,
yeah,
and that's just what I'm trying to do, is just put that positivity back out in the world.
right.
It may be a small thing, but it's better than nothing.
Hey, the smallest seeds, they grow some of the largest trees. If we take a biblical reference of the mustard seed, it's the tiniest of all seeds, but it grows an almost tree-like plant, and you never know how far something can go. I mean, you were talking earlier about that gentleman who came into your stream and was really at the end of his rope, and here we are, probably a few months later. Since then, I
Mm.
have no sense of time because of ADHD, but I think it's been a few months, and honestly, he might not be here with us today if it wasn't just for seeing the tag mental health in your title. And just I don't believe in accidents, and I don't believe in random things. I believe that he was led there for a reason, and you just hitting the go live button has probably changed his life forever. And that's such a simple thing to do, and you might not always think. I know myself, and I don't know if you struggle with this, but you were talking about like imposter syndrome before, and I think I struggle with that as far as a streamer because I'm terrible at video games. I terrible communication skills. I'm an introvert. If we're playing a game, I'm usually this is the most I've talked ever on stream, by
Yeah.
the way. But I'm usually just quiet because that's just me. And
Mm.
but yeah, just even going live sometimes and just providing a space for people is huge, and I'd like to see more people be intentional about what they do. It doesn't have to be any grand thing. You don't have to have all the answers. You just got to be willing to listen to people and just generally care about people's well-being, and that's really all it takes. Just be genuine, be transparent, and I think you can make a world of difference in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, exactly. Um, the one thing that, like, I'll say about this, about imposter syndrome, is like, even as a streamer, like, you can suffer from that,
Oh yeah.
but at the core of it, right, as long as you're true to yourself,
Mhm.
like, That's one thing people say is like, "Oh, the streamer versus, IRL." I'm the same person on stream as
Can
I am in person. You can
can
attest to
can, can confirm. Although
that.
the first time I saw Rebel, I was like, "Whoa!" Because all you see is his head and this portion of his torso. Uh, dude is tall. I was surprised. I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's a giant." I never knew Rebel was a giant. But yeah, other than that, 100%. We went and had dinner one night, and it was just like we'd known each other forever because he wasn't a different person than I had always known on the internet. So
Yep. And that's the thing, like, you just being genuine is sometimes the hardest thing because you can put on a persona and, be that person and, wear many hats and faces and stuff. But I have prided myself on what you see on camera is the same person you would see in real life.
yeah,
Um, I know another community member who's met me in real life was G Weezy because he's local here too, and
yeah,
we actually went out to dinner one night. We paid for dinner, and because he wanted to meet me before, because it's not every day you get to see one of the people that you watch on Twitch or any social media platform be local. And I said, yeah, hell, I'd love to meet up to have dinner. Let's go. Just here's the place we're gonna meet. See you there. And it was a great night, great dinner, and made it home. And it was just as genuine. And another friend met on the internet, complete strangers on the internet, and but guess what? You never know until you take that risk. Now, yeah, there's a lot of risk. There are a
yeah.
lot of risk.
Well, anytime people are involved, there's risk because you never know what you're getting.
Oh, yeah, 100%, you never know. But unless you take that risk and calculated risk,
Mhm.
you know, that's when it's like that. Like, will I ever I didn't know, Hoppa was, 2 hours away from me,
Yeah.
and I think the first time we met up, we were just sitting and talking. I think he said the same thing. He's like, "Holy crap, you're huge." It's like, "What? I'm a tall man."
He's a gentle giant.
I am 100% a gentle giant. Everyone always makes fun of me for my small dogs, and they're like, "A big man like you should have big dogs." Like, no, I keep the small dogs around because it makes me not want to kill people.
To
I
put that
love
in
my dog.
to put that in perspective, when I say someone's a giant, I am 6'2", so I don't often have to look at people at eye level or look up to people, and that was the case with Rebel. So.
Yeah, it's fun to meet up with people that you've met on the internet.
Yeah,
But again, if you don't have that, you know, persona attached to whatever imposter syndrome you have, you know, I'm the same person on screen as I am in real life, and I will continue to be that way. No matter, come hell or high water. That is who I am to the core. I will never compromise who I am at the core.
yeah,
I've always been and always will be the same goofy guy on the internet as you would see in real life.
yeah, and we love that guy. And that's kinda what I take away from that, because sometimes I'm like, "Why does anybody even watch?" You say you're bad at video games, I'm 10 times worse at video games. Everybody in the stream can attest to that. They're not here because 'cause I'm good at video games. They're not even here because 'cause I'm good at communicating. They're just here because evidently they either feel sorry for me, A, or they just love that I'm a goober, and this is who I really am. I can't be anybody else. I'm just a goober guy that just likes video games and has for 40 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like it, I think there's like a difference, right? There's people who do watch people who are,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely cracked at video
I
games. Like,
love to watch those people, but I'll never
yeah,
be them.
oh yeah, of course, I'll never be that good. Like I've watched Rash and Smash, him being completely cracked on, you know, all
Fortnite,
games.
yeah.
Fortnite, I mean, that's just been his real big one. Call of Duty, he was really good at.
Mhm.
He's a very competitive player. But at the core of that, he's still the same person.
Just a genuine dude, yeah.
Yeah, just a genuine, faith bearing. father of four, he's never compromised who he was on stream as he is on
Yeah.
in real life. And I'm very, happy to call him, a friend. You
Yeah.
know, does he show up in every stream? No, he's a freaking father of four. I don't
Yeah.
expect him to show up at all.
And he
Like,
streams for full time, and he also works. So
yeah,
it's like his life is busy. But
yeah,
he never makes you feel like that. Like he streams a lot during the day, and I can't be in a lot of those streams because I'm at work. But even if I just pop in and say, "Hey, Raj, I got you tabbed up or whatever," he's like genuinely excited to see every. He's like always like redeemed, and he's not putting on a
yeah,
show. Like he's generally excited that people will come into his channel and just hang out with him. And
yeah.
yeah, I respect the heck out of Raj. He's a hardworking guy, and he's a genuine guy. And I may never meet him in person, but I'm glad to know him because he's an inspirational guy for sure.
100%. 100%. Like, and that's the thing, like, you can model yourself after certain people. You take bits and pieces that you love from everyone you're around, right?
Mhm.
And you never like what they say, imitation is the highest form of
Yeah,
flattery.
the sincerest form of flattery.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the sincerest form of flattery. Like, yeah, you could be I don't think anyone can match that man's energy, and I do not wanna try. I don't know how he's so energetic, but the man is absolutely cracked. Um,
like
but, he's his own individual, and I love watching him.
yeah,
Even when I pop in, just say, "Hey, man, how's it going? Hopefully you're having a great day." He takes the time out of
yeah,
his day to ask you how you're doing, and
yeah,
that
for sure.
he speaks volume
And he
about a
means it. He means it. You can tell that he genuinely wants to know.
yeah, exactly.
In
So
between playing video games and doing jumping jacks, every time he gets a sub at 40 years old, he's doing hundreds of jumping jacks.
good lord, I remember seeing him do that standing challenge, and I was invested.
I
I
was
was sitting
invested, but I was also so worried about that dude because how long did he end up standing? It was over 24 hours, right? It was like
I think it was, like, going on, like, 50 or not 50 something.
it was like 2 days almost or
It
something
was
like
almost like it was almost 48 hours.
yeah, it was insane. And he's 40 years old. I mean, great shape, obviously, but he beat out much younger people. And I mean, he stood for, I wouldn't even be able to be awake for that long at this age, not much less
Mm,
standing the whole time.
exactly. And, like,
He
I'm broke.
he's
I'm broke,
yeah,
man,
me
like,
too.
I mean, like, yeah, I could stand at attention or parade rest for, 5 minutes at a time, but dude, 20 plus hours? No way, man. My
Yeah.
my spine would give out.
Yeah, when they say built different, Rash is definitely built different.
Definitely built different, but God bless him. The
Yeah,
man's the man's a go-getter. I'd hope to like, obviously, I'll be moving out that way, so,
yeah,
meeting him in person is gonna be a, possibility. A lot of people out that way, from, uh, Cherry Man
yeah.
to,
Our friend
uh,
Cherry. Yeah,
Infinite KJ, Heavy Metal, all those people.
yeah,
Um, I know there's a bunch more people, I can't remember them, but those are, like, the main 4
yeah,
that I know. Those people there, it's gonna be awesome, and, it's, um and just like we were talking about earlier, it's a new chapter in life for me, going back to the civilian life, and I'm excited and scared all at the same time. Like the don't think by the calm front facing demeanor that it's not a scary thing. It's always scary. The unknown is the one thing that humans are scared of.
for
But
sure.
when you go into it with faith and a good support network of people who are literally there to make sure that they can do whatever they can to help. That's
Yeah,
all you can ask for, is a
yeah,
small support network.
yeah. And you'll be moving pretty close to our friend Cherry Man, and he's already been helping you out somewhat. And I know he'll be there for you for sure, and as well as those other people we mentioned. There's a little bit of a hotbed out there for some streamers.
Yeah,
You'll fit in nicely out there.
well, I hope so. I mean, I'd like to. I've been looking at like some land I'd like to buy and build my dream home and you know I still got to go through all the stuff through the VA to get my 100% so I can be fully 100% retired. But just like my old man says, as long as you got two good hands and two good feet, might as well go to work, make
That's
some
it.
money.
That's it.
So so do I want to work? No, of course not. No one wants to, not in this day and age. But you know what? It is the reality of the world. You gotta make money to buy the things to make your life a little easier. Whether that be a video game to make you happy for a few days or months or years, or whether that's buying a home to start up a family. You
Yeah.
know, it's all you all got to spend the green somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Rebel, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. I don't want to keep you. I know we could talk all night long, cause, but
It's your show, man. We can talk whatever you want, man. I got nothing else to do. My phone's been going off because I just keep getting email after email about stuff that doesn't really pertain to me.
Mine does too. I think I didn't silence my Discord notices either, so I'm getting pings. We'll work on that. It's the first episode, people. Bear with us.
It's all good. It's all good.
But uh, you actually helped me make this a reality. This has been a dream of mine for quite some time. Even before I started streaming, I've been thinking about a podcast. So you helped me, like, literally get in and figure out what would need to be done to make it even appear on screen to sound decent. And for that, I'm thankful. I'm hoping that this continues on. This has been so much fun. I think in the chat we've had a lot of positive outpouring. Um, so I think it will continue on, and I'm excited for it. I appreciate you being the guinea pig, but more than that, being the trailblazer. I think the gauntlet has been thrown down, and anyone that comes in and tries to be interviewed after this, they got this is the easiest interview in the world. I was nervous about this, but Rebels just he took it and ran with it, and I just had to like hang out and just have fun. So I appreciate that a ton.
That's what I'm here for, man. It's uh, no matter what, it's always the best thing. To anyone who wants to try something new, yeah, you're gonna run into that uneasy, unknowing feeling, but understand that unless you like what they say, a traveling stone gathers no moss. You
Mhm.
need to double check it. Um, so go for it.
I'm being told I'm getting double audio on you for some reason, so that's something we'll have to work out.
It could be a multitude of things.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Um, but I appreciate you letting me know that, Hoppa. But I think we've covered a lot of bases. I hope this isn't the last time I have you on the show. I think if you're up for it when you come back to streaming in whatever time frame that is, no rush. Soon, soon, soon. But no rush. I'd love to have you back to kind of to just celebrate, and you will forever be the first person to ever do this show. I think that's pretty awesome. I couldn't imagine it being anybody else. I 100% appreciate it, and am thankful for all you've done for me, uh, just in life in general, not just with everything you've done for me in streaming, but all the encouragement, all the conversations, uh, all that stuff. It's been amazing, and I appreciate you so much. And before we get out of here, I definitely, if you are not following Rebel Aviator, could one of my mods just give him a shout out? I think we had one earlier, but please go follow him. All his social links will be attached to that Twitch page, so you can get in the Discord. You need us to get in the Discord. That is where everything is happening. There's so much information, so many different spaces that you can plug into, and so many people. It's one of the most active Discords that I think it is the most active Discord that I'm a part of. And you'll find all his information there. And before we get out of here, is there anything you want to say? Anything at all? You can promote yourself. You can say whatever you need to say. You can tell me to shut up. Whatever you need to do.
Well, the one thing that I'll say is that our logo and our saying of the Hangar Bay is Semper Altius, which is uh you know keep flying. You know, my old saying used to be fly high and hold pattern. Uh, it is one thing that I've always said. So no matter what you're going through, uh, no matter the struggles that you're going through, just keep flying high and hold that pattern. And there will be plenty of people on the ground to support you. There's always someone in the Discord here that you can talk to. We're always there for you, no matter what you're going through. It's the one thing we pride ourselves on is we're here to help you make your day even somewhat, a little better. So, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and that's all I got.
I appreciate it. And I know I'm a man of faith. I know you're a man of faith. And I know that a lot of people that tune into this channel are. And I just want to say, would you mind if I prayed for you? I've never done this on stream, but I just feel like I want to pray for you right now. And I know a lot of people in here will be praying for you because you got a lot ahead of you. And so if you're okay with that,
By all means.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for Rebel Aviator, and we thank you for what he's meant to all of us and what he's going to continue to do with his community, Lord. I just ask that you would bless him. Just keep sending him people, Father. We've seen how he's just impacted lives, and we're so thankful for that. And Father, we ask that you would watch over him in the time to come. There's a big transition in life for him, and those can be scary, but just help to remind him, Father, that you will never leave him or forsake him, and that you are with him every step of the way. And we just ask for your blessings upon him. We ask for traveling mercies as they go across the country, and that you would just continue to reveal yourself to him, Father. And we just ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I appreciate you, Rebel. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm so excited that you did this, and I am looking forward to doing it again. I hope you are a repeat guest on the show.
You got it. Say less.
Right. All right. Well, everybody, we're going to get out of here. I may come back on and play some games, but I want to cut it off just so we can upload this to YouTube. So if you are not following the YouTube, please go follow my YouTube. The link is in my socials. And give it a like and support the channels. Please support Rebel Aviator, not only with your likes on his channels, but also with your prayers. I know he would appreciate them. I know the guy that absolutely got this, and that he has never failed him, and he never will. But hey, the prayers definitely are important. So if you guys would do that, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here for now, but I'll probably come back on. If any of you guys that are in here want to play some games, maybe we'll jump into some Fortnite or whatever. But hey, if not, I'll see you next time. Remember, as I always say, take care of yourself. It's important. Take care of those around you. Even a kind word can change someone's day. God bless you all. I love you all. I will see you next time. Bye.
Stars in your head, our memories on the wall. Take it all, take it in. Yeah, this is how I